Donovan Miller, the coach of Vancouver Knights. So Don, if you can just talk about your team's performance, given the conditions and the outlook for the final tomorrow.
Obviously, we knew the weather was in the air, but at our team meeting today, we try and get at our system and didn't talk about the weather. We just want to come here and play cricket. My challenge to the guys today was to continue playing the good cricket we have been playing. We have been far the better team in this tournament, and I think we deserve to be in tomorrow's final.
Okay, first question.
Tasneem, Gorilla Cricket, London. Coach, you have been a team that has not been dependent on performances from big players necessarily, or the expected players. You've had a lot of good performances from Bobber, from Rassi. What has been happening behind the scenes to be able to get that kind of performance from each and every individual out of the team? Yeah, well,
one of the things when I came here I want to do is ensure that I create an environment where we not up and down, everyone is level. And I think there's a good vibes in the camp between especially the local Canadian guys. We have some really nice lads there, and we have gelled well. So we have some couple of losses in the tournament, and we still kind of take that on the chin and still continue to do the things that we've been doing well, which is sticking together. We try and stick together no matter what the result is.
Coach, you're playing the game, the same opposition that beat you in the last round.
Yeah.
So you guys are prepared for them mentally, physically?
Obviously, it's well documented that they're a very, very, very dangerous and talented bunch of young lads. But again, we'll just prepare as how we normally will plan accordingly, and hopefully, if we execute our skills, then I think we are unbeaten anyway. So we're not too worried about them. We just want to concentrate on us tomorrow, and hopefully tomorrow, if the weather stays away, we could be victorious again.
Yeah.
Coach, Vancouver is one of the teams that has consistently fielded a Canadian player, Saad bin Zafar, who's performed very well for you guys. What kind of preparation did you go into that with? Did you check Saad out, or did you just meet him for nets and training? How did you guys go about that?
Well, yeah, I did. During the draft, I did have a look, but I couldn't find much on the internet. So I do ring on a few people who knows the players, and I spoke about him. But what was good about the local Canadian players, not just Saab, they contact me through social media, and they were already coach when you come in, so we create that type of relationship before I came here. And when I came here, it was pretty easy for me, and Saad especially has worked really hard, and one who was improving a lot, I know, so it's in a short period of time. So I'm very proud of the Canadian guys, and especially Saab, and what he has done. And hopefully, we'd really like to have more than one in the team, and hopefully next year, when this tournament grows and get bigger, we could see more than just not a Saab bin Zafar, but 2 or 3, 4 Canadian players, hopefully in the starting 11.
Oh.
Yeah, Coach, looking back, coming into the game today, after the pretty shocking defeat against the West Indies, obviously it was very experienced. Was it easy to get up for this game, or was you a little nervous as it was a big knockout game today?
We have taken a hard route, yes. So we were disappointed, but as I said, we know it's a game of cricket, and the young lad who got the 100 bats really, really well, and on another day it could have gone our way. So we take it on the chin, and we know we're coming here today, we know we have to win the game. So yesterday the boys have a day off to do whatever they want to do. People went shopping, and we continue to have a drink on the bus no matter what happened, and just get it out of our system. So we get that out of our system very, very quickly, and was prepared for today. So we wasn't worried too much about the result.
And also, first mandatory for you as a coach, what do you want to win this tournament? You want to head into the CPL with St. Joe's Patriots?
Yeah, I mean, as a young coach, when you're a leader, you want to start well. So it's very, very important for me to do well here. I'm very confident. I've worked very hard, and I'm still learning and continue to develop. So it's a great start, and one of the best places in the world to start, to be in a final in Toronto. It's a country I love very much.
Anyone else?
Yep. Coach, you guys, like Colin just mentioned, lost the game against Cricket West Indies unexpectedly right at the end of the match. Do you guys feel like your bowlers have had enough exposure now to some of the West Indian players to be able to take them on? And can they make plans?
We always plan, but sometimes things doesn't go your way, and that's what it is. And they're human beings; they're allowed to make mistakes. And but as I said, if we get it right as a bowling unit, I think we're unbeatable. So we'll go again tomorrow, but we celebrate tonight, and the guys is allowed to do whatever they want to do. But tomorrow they come, they will prepare again, and we'll have a go at them again tomorrow.
It's one of the most essential players under Russell when he was born in their season because of injury.
Yeah.
You shed some light on that.
Yeah, Andre is known for having little here and there, but he will pull through that. Yeah, so he's such an athlete. His body does so much work, and if you see how he prepares, not just in training but before the game, he put a lot onto his body. But I think he'll be all right. He just need to go see the physio and the masseuse, and he'll be all right for tomorrow.
Okay. That's it. Thank you.
Cheers, guys. Thanks very much. Yeah.
Hello to everyone, another exciting episode of Match Point by Dr. Adnan, and we are heading towards the big one. So today it was the last match before the grand finale, and lot of hopes with the Winnipeg Hawks fans, but unfortunately it couldn't carry that way as it should have been. David Warner, Ben McDermott and Killer Miller team, Winnipeg Hawks couldn't root the opponents like as they did it before in the championship. So the short story right now, the Cricket B West Indies, which was initially the team to beat in this tournament, has already reached directly into the grand finale of the first ever Global T20 Canada 2018 of its own kind in this country, and the West Indies team was the first team to reach the finals. And then the match was today the terminator, or you can say the eliminator, second eliminator, in which there was one team which has to move on: Vancouver Knights of Chris Gayle or Winnipeg Hawks of David Warner. So in short, by the Duckworth-Lewis system, unfortunately match has been reduced to the 13 overs due to the rain, and finally Vancouver Knights beat Winnipeg Hawks by 13 runs. I am not alone in the show, as like the last time. Mustafa Ismail is right with me. Hello Mustafa, how are you?
Hello, Assalamu alaikum. I'm good, Dr. Sahab. How are you? How's everything?
Yes, fine. So what are the expectations? I was seeing that Winnipeg Hawks lost and your morale was also very down.
Yeah, I'm a big David Warner fan, so I really wanted Winnipeg to win today. But I guess it was too much to chase at the end. But luckily we got to see some good cricket, but because it was raining in the afternoon, like at 2 o'clock, and we thought it might be abandoned, but we got a short game, 13 overs each, but it was an exciting game at the end. But yeah, it was a bit too short. But
and what do you think when the toss was happening, Winnipeg Hawks after winning? So David Warner, keeping in mind that clouds are gathering and it could have been happened, he should not have bat first, or he was too much afraid of the situation like this before when the two Montreal Tigers took the risk and they lost the game.
no, I think in general, like in matches, even in international matches, if it's a rain-affected game, the captain likes to chase because with the Duckworth-Lewis does favor the chasing team. So I think Warner took that into consideration, and then plus this tournament chasing has helped his team and all the other teams. So I think taking those two things into consideration, he decided to bowl first.
But it was a very unfortunate day of the cricket in Canada, as I was hoping, and yesterday I predicted on the radio that it would be a cracker of a game. But unfortunately rain halted the play. So coming back to the scorecard, if I see the match was started and Vancouver Knights were put into the bat, and Kedwick Walton, the man who was not performing for so many times, he performed well, right? And he was a top scorer with 45, and who knew this will be the top score of the match, 45, and he was bowled by Lendl Simmons and caught Ben McDermott, and then the Chris Gayle, the big man, again he became Chris Fail and he couldn't perform with a bat, and Rohit Imrat making him LBW on only mere 8 without troubling the scorer much. And then down the order, Ben Dunk I was not expecting, but Mustafa, a nice partnership over here with the 29.
Yeah, Ben Dunk and Chris Walton, they had a very good partnership in the middle. I think it helped Walton that it was a shorter game, so he had the license to hit from ball one. I think in the earlier games it was a 20 over game, so he was trying to get his eye in, but now he just had to hit from ball one, and that suited him, I guess. And Ben Dunk supported him well as well.
Yeah, and then later down, Andre Russell, when this man is on the fire, you can't deny his beauty and you can't deny his presence, whether he is in the CPL, whether he is in the Kolkata Knight Riders, whether he is in Islamabad United. When Wasim Bhai is seeing someone, so it means someone is very special, whether it is in KKR or whether it is in Islamabad United. So Andre Russell down the order, not out, 36 not out, very important contribution to make the score into the 150s, to make the score cross. And Doosan luckily couldn't fire, I mean for the Hawks. Hawks, but even then the score was enough to give them the huge challenge under the clouds. And at the end, Babar Hayat, a brisk 14 on the 9, and Tim Saudi, a brisk 13 not out on 3 deliveries, and making sure the round figures 150 has been crossed psychologically. So 150 for 2 for the loss of 5 wickets at the end of 13 overs. And the pick of the bowlers, 2 from the Ali Khan and 1 from the Lendl Simmons, Fidel Erward and Ryan Emmerich. So score was 152. Not a huge target, but if you see the pressure game, the crunch game, the eliminator, because it was a terminator, one has to leave the tournament. So the pressure of the big game before the final, we were hoping a typical David Warner, and David Warner was the man in form for the last 2 innings, crossing the 40s, and then the last game crossing the 50 along with Ben McDermott. But in the very first over, the Doosan took the catch, and Tim Saudi, the New Zealander, as usual, gave the breakthrough.
Yeah, you could see the pressure got to Warner. I think that 150 was, like you said, psychological pressure. He went from ball 1. Normally you see Warner take 1 or 2 balls at least. From ball 1 he tried to pull it, and unfortunately he couldn't get the timing right. It went straight to the deep square leg fielder. And yeah, I think you could tell the pressure. And from there, with Warner out, it was always an uphill task for Winnipeg.
And then we saw Lendl Simmons. When I saw Lendl Simmons, immediately in my mind, one innings started circulating as usual, the T20 innings against India.
Yeah.
So I was expecting some big firing from Lendl Simmons, but Lendl Simmons unfortunately got out on 35 after making good innings at the expense of only 20 balls, but that was not enough for this much big total. Mark Dayal later on got out cheaply on 6. David Miller, Killer Miller, tried his best, but a very good catch, and we saw that he was looking very frustrated. For the 1 minute, I think he was started seeing in the air.
Yeah, I think because he was hitting the ball well today. You saw 2 balls go out of the stadium as well from David Miller. So I think he was feeling his in form, and he was the only guy who could get them across the line from that point of time, because a few sixes here and there, and they would have been really close. When it was a loose shot, and he was really upset. Like you said, he was really upset with himself, and he let the team down, I guess.
And when Ben McDermott came, the whole responsibility on his shoulders, and along with him the Darren Bravo. But Ben McDermott, when he got out after facing 8 deliveries, he made 9, and then the hope really started diminishing, and then the tail started, actually a real long tail for the Hawks. This is one of the flaws. They were not exposed like this, but along with the Darren Bravo, then the Webster, and then the Ali Khan, Fidel Edwards, Patel and Ryan Emmerich, a pretty much long tail for the Hawks, but it was too late for them. But before they could make it, I think the rain started, and this was out of a blue moon to play. And I think Vancouver was knowing that they can't make it like this with the tail, but I think they took a sigh of relief, and the Gale was the first one to leave the field.
Yeah, he was the first one. He wanted to get off there. I saw that as well with the rain. But honestly, even if it didn't rain, I think Vancouver would have won the game.
It was quite tight.
It was quite tight, but like you said, the tail was too long, and Miller was out, so they didn't have
On
the
the 27 balls, nearly 59 or 60 runs,
yeah.
it was tough.
With Miller there, they could have had a good chance, but after him out, I think it would have been very uphill task for them.
Fawad missing 1 catch. He dropped the 1 catch, but he was the pick of the bowlers with 2 wickets, and in 2 runs he gave 22 overs. And Tim Saudi, Sheldon Cottrell and Andre Russell, 1 wicket each for sharing in between them.
Yeah, I think Fawad was the key. He turned the game, because I expected him to go for a few sixes, and immediately he picked up a wicket, and then he bowled 2 balls which beat the batsman as well. I think he was the match turner for Vancouver Knights tonight.
So what's up now? Now tomorrow is the 15th, much waited day for the sports fans over here in the North America. 15th is the day when there is a final of a first ever global T20 Canadian League, and also the grand finale of the FIFA World Cup, the biggest sports show on this planet Earth. It is France versus Croatia, and France is having a key time to double it after just making it like the Argentina as they did it back in the 1978 and 1986. So the 2 big games tomorrow, we will see that can they repeat the heroics of 1998, the last century's last World Cup. We will see that can they double it or not, or can Croatia can turn the tables round and can make a big upset, and out of a blue moon, can they make the fairy tale come true?
Yeah, if France lose, for one thing is for sure, they'll be named the chokers tag like South Africa in cricket because they lost the Euros 2 years ago, and if they lose again, I think it's going to be a really good game. Croatia were outstanding, but they've played 3 extra times in a row now. They'll be tired, but I think finals they'll have the energy. France have a good pace with Mbappe, and they have Pogba in the middle as well. It's going to be a good game. I think both the teams have performed really well this World Cup, and no one expected this final. Maybe France in the final, but Croatia, I'm sure nobody predicted them to come.
France versus England could have been the traditional European final, but unfortunately English team lost the match, and as I told you, they were expecting to win the game and to reach the grand finale in 1966 as they did it in the Wembley Stadium, and that could have been after 55 years, long years, but they couldn't do it. And after 28 years they made it to the final after 1990 of the Italia 90, where they lost to the Germans, who eventually win the cup. On the penalty shootout they lost to Germans, and this time also the team couldn't make to the finals and they lost. And moreover, they lost the third place game also, and they came on the fourth. They lost the third place game to the Belgium 2-0, and this is the second time in the tournament when Belgium beat them again, the English side. And the Belgium, moreover, I want to tell you the myth and the core factor, that Belgium was beaten by France earlier and they couldn't make to the last two. So Belgium is the one unlucky team. When France reached to the grand finale, that was 3 times: 1998, 2006 and then the 2018. 3 times they lost to the France Belgium team. It was the hat-trick time when they gave them the room and made them appear in the grand finale. So everything is well when end is well. So we are hoping of a cracker of a games tomorrow. France versus Croatia, the big grand finale of the FIFA World Cup 28 in Russia, where 64,378 people are expected, making it the second biggest final in the history. And here, north of Toronto in the North America, 40 kilometers away in the King City, there will be a first global T20 Canadian final, which will be played between the Cricket B West Indies and the Vancouver Knights. Cricket B West Indies, no one is knowing about their names, but they are the giant killers, and I say them the silent killers. The team of Nicholas Puran, team of Fabius Allen, team of Justin Greaves. So they are the game changer. When they are not performing, Rutherford is performing. When he is not performing, Brandon King is performing. So it will be a huge game and pressure game, and obviously I think no pressure on the Cricket West Indies B, and there would be a pressure on Vancouver.
Yeah, of course, especially after losing the last game against the West Indies B team. But I think this is going to be a big test of West Indies B character, because I don't know if they played in a final like this before, especially against Gale and Russell. They've played against them, but in a final it's different. So I think the experience of Gale, Russell and these boys, it will help in a final situation. But like you said, West Indies B team have been the best team this tournament, the most exciting. I think none of us knew that they'd reach the final, and they've proved all of us wrong. You never know, they can win the final, lift the trophy tomorrow. But it's going to be interesting because it's going to they don't have that experience of playing in a final. So I want to see their character. It'll be a big test of their character. But so far they've been the best team.
They will play obviously in the final, but if our cameraman can show the field that what's going on, and we will see that how wet it is, and will it be possible to play on this wet outfield or not, and will it be possible to play the full 20 over match or not, or are we going to see a unfortunate Duckworth Lewis again? So God knows what's happened.
Very disappointing if that happens.
Yeah, if that happened, it will be a very disappointing game, and we will be very disappointed. We want to see some good, real nice cricket final in the North America in this very league. So this is it from here, from the King City, from the Maple Leaf Stadium, and along with my fellow Mustafa Ismail, Dr. Adnan says you take care and bye-bye.